This is an urgent warning from heart specialists. If you are over 60 years old, there is a sleeping position you must stop using immediately. This is because it doesn't just cause fatigue. It could be silently pushing your heart to the brink of danger, increasing the risk of a heart attack while you're in your deepest sleep. This position directly impacts your breathing, obstructs blood flow, and could be the hidden culprit that causes you to wake up feeling exhausted, dizzy, or short of breath. Don't be quick to blame your age. The root cause may lie in the very position of your body during your 8 hours of rest. Listen closely, because just a small change in how you sleep can make a life-saving difference. For those over 60, sleep position is no longer a matter of comfort, it's a matter of survival. As we age, our bodies are no longer as forgiving as they once were. The joints lose their flexibility, the circulatory system becomes more sluggish, and the heart is forced to work much harder just to sustain life. Seemingly harmless habits from your 40s or 50s could now be silently placing enormous pressure on your entire cardiovascular system, spine, lung capacity, and even your brain. Night after night, millions of seniors are unwittingly falling asleep in positions that worsen every health issue without even realizing it. Imagine this scenario. You lie down to rest, believing your body will recover and recharge. But what if the very position you're in is slowly compressing your chest, reducing the precious oxygen flowing into your blood? When oxygen levels in the blood drop, your heart is forced to beat much faster and harder to compensate in order to push blood to nourish your organs. This condition of oxygen deprivation to the heart muscle, also known as myocardial ischemia, is one of the direct factors that leads to a heart attack. Therefore, this isn't rest. It's a silent torture for your heart. And this burden accumulates day after day, month after month, and year after year. Sleeping on your left side, right side, back, or stomach, each position has its own set of benefits and drawbacks. However, for an aging body, those drawbacks are amplified many times over. After the age of 60, the body's ability to self-regulate and compensate during sleep begins to decline significantly. The spine is no longer as flexible, the lungs can hardly expand to their full capacity, and blood circulation to the limbs can be restricted depending on how body pressure is distributed. But what most people are completely unaware of is how directly and powerfully sleep position affects heart function. Certain positions cause compression on major arteries, especially the aorta and the coronary arteries that nourish the heart. Other positions obstruct the diaphragm's movement, making deep breathing difficult. Still others increase the occurrence of gastric acid reflux, a factor that causes inflammation and indirectly adds more burden to the heart. And over time, a poor sleeping posture does not merely cause fatigue. It is directly linked to an increased risk of hypertension, atrial fibrillation, and even congestive heart failure. These are all primary risk factors considered to be paving the way for a sudden heart attack. Perhaps you feel perfectly healthy right now. You might even sleep soundly through the night, but make no mistake, your body is silently keeping a record of all the damage. A sleeping position that causes your blood oxygen saturation to drop by just a few percentage points may not be enough to wake you, but it forces your heart to work strenuously for hours on end to pump blood throughout the body. This is no different from forcing your heart to run a marathon in the dark every single night without rest. This is precisely why sleep position becomes a vital factor after the age of 60, more important than at any other stage of life. Because at this age, you are no longer just managing comfort. You are managing pressure, circulation, airflow, and the stress on your internal organs. If you don't take control now, the consequences will manifest not in your dreams, but in your actual waking life with chronic fatigue, shortness of breath, an irregular heartbeat, and worse. But there is good news here. A simple change in sleeping position can unlock deeper sleep. help reduce the burden on your heart and support your body's recovery in a remarkably efficient way. So let's get straight to the point. If there is one position that studies consistently point to as the worst for seniors, it is sleeping flat on your back, also known as the supine position. It may feel natural. It may even be how you've slept for most of your life. But after 60, this position silently becomes one of the most dangerous threats to your cardiovascular and respiratory health. Here's why. When you lie on your back, gravity pulls your tongue and the soft tissues in your throat backward. This narrows the upper airway and suddenly increases the risk of developing sleep apnea, a condition where breathing repeatedly stops and starts. Many people often ask, what causes a heart attack, without realizing that the answer may come from this very danger. Sleep apnea is not just about loud snoring. The core issue is that the oxygen supply is cut off. Every single time the oxygen in your blood drops, your heart is put on red alert and is forced to contract strenuously to compensate. Your blood pressure spikes, your heartbeat becomes erratic, and your body continuously releases stress hormones like adrenaline. This repeated state, as asphyxia, is no different from experiencing mini fight-or-flight episodes every few minutes. These are the nightly warning signs of a heart attack that you absolutely cannot afford to ignore. Over time, this repeated stress can lead to chronic hypertension, arrhythmia, an enlarged heart, and even a stroke. Now let's add the factor of aging into this equation. Seniors inherently have less elastic blood vessel walls, slower heart rate recovery after stress, and a diminished lung capacity. This means the impact of oxygen deprivation becomes much more severe. In fact, studies have proven that older adults with untreated sleep apnea have a significantly higher risk of developing atrial fibrillation. This is an extremely dangerous form of arrhythmia that causes blood to easily pool in the heart chambers and form blood clots. These clots can travel to the brain, causing a stroke, or obstruct the coronary arteries, leading to heart failure and a heart attack. Many people often don't realize that the symptoms of a heart attack can originate from these very nightly issues. In particular, heart attack in women's symptoms are sometimes very different and not as typical as in men, such as unusual fatigue or shortness of breath, making the risk even harder to identify. And the number one position proven to worsen this dangerous condition is lying flat on your back. But the danger doesn't stop there. The supine position also creates ideal conditions for stomach acid to reflux up into the esophagus, causing nighttime heartburn and a sore throat. This reflux doesn't just disrupt your sleep. It can cause airway inflammation, disrupt your breathing pattern, and directly increase the workload on your heart. It's a vicious cycle, and it's all being triggered while you think you're resting. Therefore, if you frequently wake up tired despite getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep, if you wake up with a dry mouth, a sore throat, or a pounding heart, or if your partner notices pauses in your breathing during the night, this could be the very reason. Understanding the signs of a heart attack sometimes begins with these seemingly unrelated signals. And to fix it, you don't need a pill, an expensive medical device, or a doctor's appointment. It starts with one simple action: changing your sleeping position. Of course, it should be noted that there are some exceptions. People with specific spinal conditions or those in post-surgical recovery may be required to sleep on their back. But for the vast majority of seniors, especially those with a history of high blood pressure, heart problems, or frequent snoring, avoiding the supine position can be a game changer, serving as an effective at-home way of knowing how to prevent a heart attack. So, what is the ideal sleeping position to reduce cardiovascular pressure, improve oxygen flow, and even potentially lower the risk of sudden nighttime cardiac events, including heart attacks and cardiac arrest? If sleeping on your back silently stresses your heart, then what is the best alternative? Most cardiologists agree. Sleeping on your left side is one of the most effective heart protective positions, especially for seniors. This might seem like an insignificant change, but its effects are incredibly powerful. When you lie on your left side, your heart is positioned slightly higher, allowing gravity to naturally assist in reducing the pressure weighing on the heart muscle. Not only that, but the aorta, the main pathway carrying oxygen-rich blood from the heart to the rest of the body, also has a slight curve to the left. This means that in the left side position, the heart has to work less to pump blood, allowing for easier and smoother circulation throughout the night. A heart that works less strenuously also means it will be healthier and more resilient in the long run. Not only that, but breathing also becomes deeper and more regular when sleeping on the left side. The lungs have more space to expand, helping you absorb more oxygen and reducing the risk of shallow breathing or episodes of sleep apnea. For seniors, better breathing alone is enough to make a significant difference in health, helping you feel more alert, refreshed, and clear-headed the next morning. Beyond directly reducing the load on the heart and lungs, the benefits of left-side sleeping extend to other vital systems in the body, creating a comprehensive protective mechanism. The stomach's natural position on the left side of the abdominal cavity means that when you lie on your left side, gravity helps keep acid in its proper place, significantly reducing heartburn and nighttime reflux. This is critically important because nighttime reflux can activate the sympathetic nervous system silently, putting the heart into a prolonged state of stress. Furthermore, research has also found that this position improves lymphatic drainage, the body's natural waste disposal system, helping to more efficiently remove metabolic waste from the brain and other organs during sleep. Conversely, sleeping on the right side can have mixed effects. This position can cause compression on the inferior vena cava, restricting the flow of deoxygenated blood back to the heart, especially in those with pre-existing heart conditions. Many people often wonder, what does a heart attack feel like? But sometimes the initial sensations like heart palpitations or an irregular heartbeat can be amplified by an unsuitable sleeping position. Of course, you don't have to spend a full 8 hours rigidly holding the same position. That's unrealistic. But simply starting your sleep on your left side is a simple, free, and incredibly effective health protective strategy. If you have spent nearly your entire life sleeping on your back or stomach, switching to your left side might sound like a challenge or even impossible. But the truth is, your body can absolutely adapt. The key here isn't force, but rather skillfully retraining your body to accept a new, safer position. Let's start with the most important tool, your pillow. The majority of people who cannot sleep comfortably on their side are using the wrong pillow. You need a pillow that is high and firm enough to perfectly fill the space between your head and shoulder, thereby keeping your spine in a straight line. If the pillow is too low, your neck will collapse. If it's too high, it will cause shoulder strain and pinch the nerves. Look for a medium firm pillow labeled specifically for side sleepers. This proper support not only makes side sleeping easier, but turns it into a truly relaxing experience. This is one of the first and most fundamental steps for you to know how to prevent a heart attack right from your sleep. Now let's talk about your overall body positioning. To comfortably maintain the left side position throughout the night, use a full-length body pillow or simply place a regular pillow between your knees. This action helps keep your hips aligned, reduces pressure on your lower back, and most importantly, it prevents you from unconsciously rolling over onto your back. Do you still roll over frequently in your sleep? Here's an extremely effective trick. Place a rolled-up towel or a small cushion right behind your back. It creates a gentle physical barrier that reminds your body not to roll onto your back without waking you up. Some people even sew a tennis ball onto the back of their pajama shirt, not to cause pain, but to train the subconscious to avoid that dangerous position. Persistently implementing these small tips is how you proactively prevent the root causes, not allowing the early signs of a heart attack a chance to develop. If you are a stomach sleeper, the transition process might be more challenging. Try using a wedge pillow or placing a second pillow against the front of your body. This creates a simulated pressure on the chest and abdomen, helping your brain feel secure and grounded as it does during stomach sleeping, but it avoids the dangerous spinal twisting and chest compression. Here is a crucial supplementary tip. Try to maintain the left side position during the most precious window of sleep, the first 2 to 3 hours after you fall asleep. This is the period when your body spends the most time in deep, restorative, slow-wave sleep. Even if you change positions later, you will have already given your body a golden window for rest and cardiovascular protection. Additionally, creating a pre-sleep ritual will also be very helpful. Make it a habit to lie on your left side while you read, meditate, or listen to soft music. This creates both a physical and mental anchor, gently reinforcing to the brain that this is a safe and normal position. And here's the good news: our brains can absolutely be reprogrammed even at 60, 70, or 80 years old. In fact, because seniors often wake up more during the night, each brief awakening is an opportunity for you to proactively reposition yourself back to the left side. With consistency, your body will gradually come to prefer this new position. Coming up next, we will explore another secret. What happens when you combine left-side sleeping with a small addition to your evening routine, and how it can dramatically amplify your cardiovascular health, digestion, and overnight recovery. Sleeping on your left side is an incredibly powerful foundational step. But when you combine it with this evening ritual, you create a comprehensive recovery process that doesn't just protect the heart. It also helps to regenerate, strengthen, and support your entire metabolic system while you sleep. What is that ritual? A dose of high-quality, slow-digesting protein taken 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Specifically, casein protein. Let's break this down further. During sleep, your body enters a natural fasted state. For younger people, this isn't a major issue. But in older adults, this overnight fasting period becomes a hidden threat. The process of catabolism or muscle breakdown accelerates, slowing down recovery, and the heart, which is also a muscle, becomes more vulnerable to stress, inflammation, and nutrient depletion. But here is the science-backed solution. Casein protein is digested extremely slowly over 6 to 8 hours, releasing a steady stream of amino acids into your bloodstream. These amino acids are the building blocks that help support muscle preservation, cardiovascular recovery, and metabolic regulation throughout the night. It's like drip-feeding fuel to your body precisely when it would otherwise be starving. And when you combine casein protein with left-side sleeping, you double the positive impact. The left-side sleeping position optimizes heart position, reduces acid reflux, and enhances circulation. Simultaneously, casein protein supplies your system with the necessary nutrients to repair tissue, support muscle, and regulate blood sugar levels overnight. This combination creates a metabolic environment that is profoundly protective and restorative, perfectly aligned with the body's natural healing mechanisms. Think about what this delivers over time. Better muscle retention means a stronger heart. A stronger heart pumps more efficiently, helping to stabilize blood pressure and reduce oxygen strain. Improved overnight recovery leads to abundant energy, faster healing, and less joint stiffness in the morning. Better blood sugar regulation helps reduce the risk of insulin resistance, one of the primary drivers of heart disease in seniors. This combination is especially powerful if you engage in resistance training or walking during the day. Your body gets the signal to grow and strengthen during movement, and then it receives the full building materials overnight to actually repair and rebuild. Many people don't know that maintaining healthy muscle mass is one of the most effective ways to mitigate the causes of a heart attack. You don't need to eat a full meal. A scoop of casein protein mixed with water or almond milk is sufficient. Or if you prefer food-based options, low-fat cottage cheese or plain Greek yogurt are also excellent sources. Just ensure you are getting around 30 to 40 grams of protein to trigger muscle protein synthesis. So, how do you know that these efforts are truly working? The results won't appear like a flashing neon sign, but your body will leave subtle clues. The clearest sign is how you feel each morning. Notice if you get out of bed more easily without that familiar stiffness, if your joints feel more limber, your legs less heavy. Instead of worrying about the early warning signs of a heart attack, you'll start noticing the signs of recovery. You might also feel your heart rate is calmer, no longer racing or pounding because your nervous system has spent more time in rest and repair mode. Furthermore, you'll find yourself sleeping more deeply with fewer interruptions as acid reflux and blood sugar fluctuations, two main culprits for middle-of-the-night awakenings, have been controlled. The inevitable result is that your energy the next day will be more abundant. You'll have more motivation to move to walk and to engage in activities, clear evidence that real recovery is happening. If you monitor your medical stats, you may also notice your blood pressure and blood sugar levels becoming more stable with fewer erratic spikes. This isn't magic, it's the direct result of reducing overnight stress on the cardiovascular system. For those who exercise, you'll feel stronger and recover faster because the muscle you work so hard to build is no longer being silently stolen each night. Knowledge only becomes power when you act on it. Therefore, stop seeing this as a new habit to strive for and start seeing it as an essential part of your identity. Someone who values heart health, strength, and long-term independence. To make it automatic, anchor it to an existing habit place. Your protein container right next to your toothbrush. Whenever you feel like skipping it, picture the version of yourself 10 years from now. Strong, independent, and still full of life. That future self is not an accident. It's built from the small but wise choices you make today. Because longevity isn't just about adding years to your life, it's about adding life to those years. So start tonight. Lie on your left side. Take your dose of protein and sleep like someone who is investing in their own future. Your journey to protecting your health doesn't stop here. To continue receiving science-based medical advice that helps you live healthier and more independently, hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell right next to it so you don't miss any of our important upcoming videos.